through all of those U.S. presidential visits to India so far. President Dwight Eisenhower was the first one in December 1959, the first U.S. president to visit India on December 9th, 1959. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was the Prime Minister of India then. At that time, ties between India and the U.S. were strained. He had provided military assistance to Pakistan and made India's #1 rival its partner in an anti-communist alliance. President Richard Nixon was next in July 1969. He visited India to discuss the Indo-Pak relations with the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi and promised economic support. His visit to India was short, just 23 hours, and he almost seemed to be snapping at Indian leaders. The visit was pretty much a disaster. Neither Mrs. Gandhi nor Nixon displayed much warmth. The substantive discussion, mainly on Vietnam, lacked spark and animation. Newspapers, in fact, reported at that time. President Jimmy Carter was next in January 1978. He received a historic welcome from India. He visited India on a 3-day official trip to meet India's Prime Minister at that time, Morarji Desai. Jimmy said that India, US were bound by basic moral values. However, his visit was caught up in controversy over India's nuclear ambitions. As he was about to leave the country, Carter was caught on tape telling an aide that a cold and blunt message should be delivered to the Desai government over India's nuclear plan. President Bill Clinton was next in March 2000. No other US president's visit had ever created so much media interest. Mr. Clinton visited India for the first time in the year 2000 during the tenure of Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Bill Clinton came on a 5-day visit to India on March 21st that year. His flamboyant personality charmed everyone. He called the visit the strengthening of a friendship that indeed is critical to the future of the entire planet. Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Clinton issued a joint statement stating their new relationship. President George Bush was next in March 2006. In fact, he was in India from March 1st to 3rd that year. He was hugely unpopular worldwide for his war on Iraq, but a Hindustan Times survey at that time found most Indians considered him as a friend of their country. George W. Bush and Prime Minister Manmohan Singh signed the Civil Nuclear Cooperation Agreement during Bush's India tour. India agreed to separate its civil and military nuclear facilities, and the United States agreed to work towards full civil nuclear cooperation with India. President Barack Obama was next in November 2010 and January 2015. Barack Obama in 2010 visited India on November 6th to 9th. His then visit with Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was looked upon as to deepen the economic ties between the US and India, including efforts to expand US efforts and increase US business investment in India. And in Jan 2015, President Obama and the First Lady traveled to India, their first time visiting the South Asian nation since Prime Minister Narendra Modi was sworn in 2014. India and America are true global partners, both in strengthening economies and strong democracies. That is why the president is the first to visit India twice while in office.